I absolutely love when somebody tells me that I can't do something. So as you guys know, at the beginning of the year, COVID kind of came around, and I was really bored, and I was thinking of some things to do. So I just thought, you know what, I might as well try some fishing. So, because my grandparents they live out on a lake, Lake Aspen. It's off the freeway, and I was out there bass fishing, and the bass are about yay big. They're about maybe a pound. Like a good sized one's about a pound. If you catch a good one, it's like 2 to 3, like a big one. And I was looking down in the water because I use a paddle boat, and you just paddle out through the water and you catch some bass. But anywho, so I was looking down in the water and I saw these big carp. They're fish that are probably about this long, and they're about 15 to 30 pounds, they range. And I went back inside and I was like, hey, Grandpa, has anyone ever caught one of those carp that swim through the water out there, the big fish? And he said, no, I've never seen anyone in 25 years catch one of those fish that they've been living there, because they've been living there for about, 25, 30 years now. And so I was like, you know what, Grandpa, by the end of the summer, I bet you I'll catch one. And he just started laughing. Yeah, he said, no way, you're not catching one of those. And my grandma, she was really supportive of me. She was like, oh, you can do it, prove him wrong. And so I went home, did some research, what to try and catch the carp on. And a good recommendation was just regular loaf of bread or a piece of corn. And so I think I tried the bread first, and the bread, I wasn't having much luck with it because the bread floats. So I was like, okay, I'll try corn. So, and I needed thicker line because the fish are big. So I went to Walmart, bought some corn, bought some new line, and went out and tried it. So the first day, attempt number one, I had no luck. I saw the fish, came close to my bait because I could see it down in the water. It came close, nothing. Day two, my corn was down the water. I watched a fish take it. I got super excited and tried to set the hook. That means like get it stuck in its mouth. And I had it, and it ran out with my line all the way out, and it snapped. And I was just, I was gut wrenched. And I went inside. I was like, hey, Grandpa, I almost caught one. He's like, almost catching one doesn't count. So, I was more determined than ever to go back out there and catch one. So I redid my line, tried something a little different, put some more line on so that way the fish couldn't run it out as quick because they're really strong. And so I did it again. Same thing. The line broke, but this time I grabbed it with my hand, and the fish just pulled it right through, so it kind of cut my hand a little bit. But, and so that time I didn't really go inside to tell my grandpa that I'd failed again. So the next day, I had a new idea. I would get a little bit thinner line so that way I could put more on it. That time I had better luck, but I tried to pull too hard and the line just snapped. And I worked with my grandpa, and one day after work, it was like, it was rainy earlier that day, and it was really windy. And I was like, hey, you know what, Grandpa, I'm going to go to your house after we work to try and catch another one of those fish. So, same as always, I went back out there, threw some corn on my line, tossed it out, and it was super crummy outside, so I was like, I'll just go in and talk to my grandparents because chances are I probably won't catch one anyway. So I was talking to them. I had my back turned to their window because I was just sitting and talking to them. And my grandma says, hey, Dill, your pole's about to go over. And I look, and my pole is hanging on the edge of the edge of this fence. And so I sprint outside because the drop's like 10, 15 feet. And I was prepared. If that thing was going over, so was I. So I went and I got lucky, and it actually didn't go over. I grabbed it, and I started reeling. I was like, oh, Grandpa, this is it. And he was just laughing in the background. I could see him. But so I had to crawl through these trees and over these rocks to get down to the shore. And it probably took me like 10 minutes, but because I was reeling it in, and it'd be right on the shore, and I'd go down to grab it, and it just swiggle away because they're really slimy fish. And so what happened is one of the times I just I just pulled him up on shore, and he started to wiggle back down in the water. I threw my pole down, and I just put my hands around it. I was probably knee deep in the water, and I had my socks on. And you'll see it in this picture here. But I had my socks on, and they were just soaking wet, but I was so happy because I finally caught one of my grandpa, which he didn't think I would catch one, but he was very proud of me once I did. And so after that, my friend, I told him about it, and he's like, oh, I want to go catch one. And my grandpa's like, oh yeah, you guys won't catch one again. And that was probably just lucky, but you did awesome. So that same day, we ended up catching my friend one, and we kept fishing throughout the summer. We did a little bit of bass fishing, a little bit of carp fishing, and we actually, by the end of the season, we ended up catching anywhere from like 12 to 15 carp. And my grandpa, he was just in disbelief because of how many of those fish we caught. And so, long story short, if somebody tells you can't do something, just go out there and prove them wrong, because it'll make it that much better when you succeed. Thank you.